Good morning, students. Students, as you know, we have completed the chapter Atomic Structure. And in the structure of atom, we discussed that atom have a centrally located nucleus in which the protons and neutrons are present, and electrons are revolving around the nucleus in the three-dimensional space. Now, student, we all know that the law of nature is attainment of stability. And as I told you, in the Dalton's atomic theory, that atoms may combine together to form a molecule, that may be a molecule of an element or the molecule of a compound. Now, the very first question before we start discussing the chapter of a chemical bonding and the molecular structure is, why do atoms combine with each other? We have already discussed something about the atom. So, the question is, why do atoms combine? Number two, how do atoms combine? And number three, if the atom combines to form a molecule, what changes occurs in the properties? Am I clear? I emphasize the word bond over here. Now, atom combines with each other to form a molecule through bond. So, if I ask you, define a bond, or what do we mean by bond or the chemical bond? In fact, student, it is the force of attraction which holds the atom together in a molecule. Am I clear? When I talk about the bond, I am talking about the chemical bond. Is it clear? So, the force of attraction which holds the atom, the force of attraction which holds the atom together in the molecule, the force of attraction which holds the atoms together in a molecule, atoms together in molecule is called a chemical bond. In molecule is called a bond. Am I clear, student? Yes or no? So, what is a chemical bond? The force of attraction which holds the atom together in a molecule is called as a chemical bond. The very first question that comes to our mind is, what is the cause of chemical combination? So, cause of chemical combination. When I talk about the cause of chemical combinations, cause of chemical combination. Why do atoms combine with each other? The very simple answer to this is, if I ask you, why are you studying? Naturally, to attain stability. And what will happen when the stability is acquired? A decrease in energy is there. So, cause of chemical combination is decrease in energy. And number second will be the attainment of stability. Cause of chemical combination, the first one is decrease in energy. Decrease in energy. And number second will be attainment of stability. Attainment of stability. Am I getting clear, student? What is the cause of chemical combination? Decrease in energy and the attainment of stability. Which chapter have we studied? We started chemical bonding and the molecular structure. What is bond or what is the chemical bond? The force of attraction which holds the atom together in a molecule is called as a chemical bond. What is the cause of chemical combination? It is decrease in energy and attainment of stability. Now the question arises, how can the energy be decreased for the atoms and how do they acquire stability? Now answer to this is by the formation of bond. So how will these two causes will be overcome? By the formation of a bond. What is bond? The force of attraction which holds the atom together in a molecule. Now the question is, what can be the various types of bond which will be responsible for holding the atom together in a molecule, which may cause the decrease in energy and the attainment of stability? So if I discuss over here the various types of a chemical bond. So types of chemical bond. When we talk about the types of chemical bonds, as far as the types of chemical bonds are concerned, in our syllabus, main are 3 bonds, that will be the ionic bond, covalent bond, coordinate bond. Apart from that, we will also discuss some force of attraction in the hydrogen bonding, and then we may also discuss the metallic bonding. So what can be the various types of a chemical bond? As far as the types of chemical bonds are concerned, the various types of chemical bond can be, first will be the ionic bond, which we have studied in the lower classes. The ionic bond, or we may call it as electrovalent bond. So it will be the ionic bond or the electrovalent bond. Am I clear? Then we'll have a covalent bond. This will be a covalent bond. After electrovalent and the covalent bond, then we have coordinate bond. This will be the coordinate bond. Am I clear, student? Apart from that, students, this will be the 3 main bonds we will be discussing in this chapter, out of which the major concept will come in the covalent bond. Apart from that, we will be slightly discussing with you what are hydrogen bonds, and then we will also discuss the metallic bond. A brief discussion of all this will be done with you as per the syllabus. Am I clear? So what is bond? That force of attraction which holds the atom together in a molecule is called as the chemical bond. What can be the what is the cause of a formation of a bond? A decrease in energy and the attainment of stability. Now, what can be the various types of a chemical bond? It can either be electrovalent bond, covalent bond, coordinate bond, hydrogen bond, and the metallic bond. Now, if I ask you, how will be the stability acquired? My answer is very simple, by the formation of bond. What will happen by the formation of a bond? The answer to this in the layman's language or in the language of a discussion in the lower class is by completion of an octet. Am I getting clear? According to the Coastal and Lewis, the 8th electron must be there in the outermost shell, which may be acquired either through electrovalent bond formation or through covalent bond formation or coordinate bond formation, and that will lead to the stability. Or I must say that will lead to the formation of a bond. So the point is very clear. Student, today we will be discussing with you the ionic bond. It is an easy discussion as we have done this in the lower class also. Remember, the major discussion of this chapter will come in the covalent bond. Almost 90% of the discussion is for the covalent bond, which will be a new concept we will be learning in the class 11th. Now, as far as the ionic bond is concerned, ionic bond, this is also known as the electrovalent bond. So, ionic bond or electrovalent bond. The bond which is formed by the transference of electron between the two combining atoms is called as the electrovalent bond. So, what is electrovalent bond? The bond formed by transference of electrons between two combining atoms. Between two combining atoms is called electrovalent, or the ionic bond is called electrovalent, or we may call it as the ionic bond. Am I clear? Or in a very simple language I may say over here, the bond formed in between the ions is called as the ionic bond. The bond formed in between ions, the bond formed in between ions is ionic bond. Am I clear? Student, if I ask you what are ions? Ions are the charged particle. They may be cation or the anion. So the bond formed in between the cations and the anions will be called as the ionic bond. Am I clear? As for example, if I discuss with you the bond formation of sodium chloride. For example, if I discuss the formation of sodium chloride. You have done this in the lower class also. How will the sodium chloride bond formation take place? The sodium atomic number is 11, so configuration will be 281. Then we have chlorine, atomic number is 17, configuration will be 287. How will the bond form? How many electrons are there in the valence shell of the sodium? 1. So how will we reflect this in the Lewis dot formula? Sodium will be having 1 electron in the valence shell. Now chlorine. Chlorine will be having how many electrons in the valence shell? 7. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Am I clear? How many electrons will the sodium donate to this? It will be 1 electron. So the atom which gives the electron will be called as the donor atom, whereas the atom which accepts the electron will be called as an acceptor atom. So what will happen? Sodium over here is losing the electron, and when it is losing the electron, it will result in the formation of a sodium ion. Then chlorine. Chlorine will be gaining the electron, and it will result in the formation of a chloride ion. Naturally, a bond is formed between the sodium ion and the chloride ion. Sodium ion, that is a cation, and the chloride anion, Cl negative. And this force of attraction which will be holding these two atoms together in a molecule will be called as a electrovalent bond. So what type of a bond will be formed? This will be sodium ion will be bonded by ionic bond with the chloride ion, and this bond will be called as a ionic bond. Now, after losing this electron, sodium ion acquire how many electrons in the valence shell? 8. So this configuration of this will be 2, 8. Am I clear? After gaining 1 electron, how many electrons does the chloride ion have in the valence shell? 8. So the configuration over here will be 2, 8 and 8. Tell me whether I am getting it clear or not. So what happens by the ionic bond formation? Sodium chloride, in the sodium chloride, sodium ion octet is completed, whereas the chloride ion octet is also completed. And since the bond is formed by the transference of electron in between the ions, so that is why it is also called as a ionic bond. I hope you must be understanding the fact that after formation of a bond, they acquire stability due to decrease in the energy. Am I clear? So what is the cause of chemical combination? Decrease in energy and attainment of stability. How can that be acquired? By the formation of bond. What various types of bond are we studying? The first one which we have started is a discussion of a ionic bond. Now the question arises that what are the conditions for the formation of the ionic bond. Now, the various conditions for the formation of electrovalent bond. What are the favorable conditions for the formation of electrovalent bonds? Conditions for formation of electrovalent bond. Remember, the first condition is the number of valence electron. As we all know, student, one of the atom is a donor atom, other is the acceptor atom. So one of the atom must lose 1, 2 or 3 electron, whereas the other must gain the electrons over here. So first one is number of valence electron. First is the number of valence electrons. What should be the number of valence electron? Donor atom must have 1, 2 or 3 electrons in the valence shell. If I say the donor atom must have 1 or 2 or 3 valence electron. Am I clear, student? They must have either 1, 2 or 3 valence electron. Whereas the acceptor atom must have either 5, 6 or 7 valence electron. Acceptor atom must have either 5, 6 or 7 valence electron. Is it clear? Naturally, the atom which have 1, 2 or 3 electron, they prefer to donate electron to acquire the octet, whereas those have 5, 6 or 7 electron, they accept the electron to complete their octet. Number second will be the difference of electronegativity. Second is the difference of electronegativity. Second over here is the difference of electronegativity. Naturally, electronegativity difference must be large. If the electronegativity difference is large, it is only then the transference of electron is possible. So, large electronegativity difference. Large electronegativity difference is favored. If we talk about the electronegativity difference, large electronegativity difference is favored. Am I clear, student? So, if the electronegativity difference is large, it is favored for the formation of electrovalent bond. So, when I talk about the conditions, I am talking about the favorable conditions. Favorable conditions for formation of electrovalent bond. And third factor is, which is very important factor, there must be overall decrease in the energy. Third factor is overall decrease in energy. Overall decrease in energy. So, next factor will be, there must be the overall decrease in energy. What does it mean? It means the released energy must be more than the acquired energy. Am I clear? Just see over here. If I say A plus B gives AB, am I clear? Suppose A is a donor atom, B is an acceptor atom. So, what will happen? A will be losing electron, and the energy required for this will be the ionization energy, resulting in the formation of a cation. Am I clear? So, ionization energy is required by the atom to lose electron to form a cation. Now, we have B. B will be gaining the electron, and energy released when the electrons are gained to form anion will be the electron affinity. Am I clear? This is electron affinity. Thirdly, the attraction between the cation and the anion will take place. So, A positive plus B negative, it will result in the formation of AB. When the ions attract each other, the energy released is called as a lattice energy. Am I clear? It is called as the lattice energy. And what was this energy released? This was electron affinity. This is electron affinity. Now, what is the third condition? There must be overall decrease in the energy. This is the energy released. This is energy released. This is the energy acquired. So, this summation must be greater than that of the ionization energy. So, electron affinity plus lattice energy must be greater than the ionization energy. In that condition, there will be overall decrease in the energy and the formation of electrovalent bond will be favored. So, what are the favorable conditions for the formation of electrovalent bond? Donor atom must have 1, 2 or 3 valence electron. Acceptor atom must have 5, 6 or 7 valence electron. The difference of electronegativity should be large. Overall decrease in the energy must take place. Am I clear? What are electrovalent bond? The bond which are formed by the transference of electron between the two combining atoms. Is it clear? Students, we have done this in the lower class also, in the class 9th. Now, if I ask you the general characteristics of electrovalent bond, general characteristics of electrovalent bond, what are the various general characteristics of electrovalent bond? I mean to say, what are the properties for the electrovalent compounds? General characteristics of electrovalent compound. Electrovalent compounds. What are the general characteristics of electrovalent compound? The first will be, they are crystalline in nature. Electrovalent compounds are crystalline in nature. That means they are hard, crystalline, solid. Am I clear? Now, since the electrovalent bond is a strong bond, so they have high melting and boiling point. They have high melting point and boiling point. If someone asks you why, because of a strong force of attraction or electrostatic force of attraction. Then they are hard and brittle. These are hard and brittle in nature. Electrovalent compounds are hard and brittle. And regarding their solubility, they are soluble in the solvent with a high dielectric constant. And since water have a high dielectric constant, so they are highly soluble in water. Fourth one is a solubility. Solubility. They are soluble in solvent with high dielectric constant. Soluble in solvents with high dielectric constant value. They are soluble in the solvent with high dielectric constant. High dielectric constant. Example, like water. We all know water is the polar solvent. How? As for example, if I say sodium chloride, this is an ionic compound, is dissolved in water. We all know sodium chloride is water soluble. How does it happen? This is sodium ion and chloride ion. Now, water will be having a positive pole as well as a negative pole. We all know the formula for water can be written as H positive, OH negative. Now, this water molecule create a opposite dipole to this. This will be negative, this will be positive. This is the water molecule. Negative charge is oriented in the manner so that they may break the bond between the sodium and the chloride ion. Is it clear? Now, this is a negative charge. So, this will be positive, negative. Here again positive, negative. This again will be positive and negative. Now, you may say these opposite charges will attract each other. So, what will happen? This bond will break. And when the bond will break, we will have a sodium ion and a chloride ion, in which the breaking of the bond has taken place. This is negative, positive. This again will be negative, positive. the negative positive, and the negative positive. Similarly, for the chloride ion, what do we have? For chloride ion, this will be positive, negative. Here again it will be positive and negative. Then positive, negative, and the positive and negative. So you may see over here, due to the breaking of the bond, they get soluble in water. Am I clear? Yes or not? So what are the various properties? They are crystalline in nature, they have a high melting and boiling point, they are hard and brittle, and they are soluble in the solvent with high dielectric constant. Then a poor conductor in the solid state, but good conductor in the molten or in the aqueous form. These are poor conductor in solid form or in solid state, but good conductor in molten or aqueous form. But good conductor in molten or aqueous form. Good conductor in molten form or aqueous form. Am I clear? Regarding their reactions are ionic in nature, and then they do not show space isomerism, which we will be discussing later on. The reactions are ionic in nature. Reactions are ionic. Do not show space isomerism. Am I clear, student? If someone asks why? Due to high force of attraction. So, student, in this lecture, we have tried to discuss with you the electrovalent bond formation. I have given you one example of formation of sodium chloride. Let me give you one other example, although you have studied this in the class 9th, such as if we study the formation of magnesium chloride. Magnesium atomic number is 12. Configuration will be 282. Chlorine 17. Configuration will be 287. How will the bond form? This is magnesium having 2 electrons in the valence shell. Chlorine having 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here again chlorine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be losing the electron to this side. This will be losing the electron to this side. So magnesium ion will act as a donor atom. So how will the bond form? This will be magnesium ion, and then we have a chloride ion, and then we have a chloride ion. So this is how the bond formation will take place. So student, in this chapter of chemical bonding and molecular structure, in this lecture number 1, we have discussed with you the formation of electrovalent bond. As I have already told you, the major content of this discussion will be the formation of a covalent bond. So we will meet again with a further discussion of this chapter in the next lecture. Till then, thank you.